Once you have a clear vision, set of outcomes, and plan for communications and engagement across the business, the team delivering the transformation will need to be supported and enabled throughout the transition from the current to the future desired state. This will require tenacity, as all involved will need to demonstrate an unwavering pursuit of the desired outcomes. And at times it will be tough. This is where the board members need to continue to actively support and encourage the team. The early definition stage is relatively straightforward in comparison, but I'm not going to talk further about managing change projects, as your role is more as advocates and enablers of the change. However, the one area that we've not raised is how you ensure that all the activity and busyness that accompanies delivering transformational change also delivers the desired end state. And there are two key components to consider that we've not yet mentioned. Firstly, how you will reinforce the change, and secondly, how you'll measure it. So starting with reinforcement, which is about strengthening or establishing the desired practices and behaviours for the change to be sustainable beyond the end of the project. Every transformational change will need several reinforcement measures putting in place. The analogy I always use is from the construction industry and relates to reinforcing steels or rebar. When the structure, maybe a bridge, is originally designed, that design includes the reinforcing steels, as you wouldn't think of building a concrete bridge without designing the reinforcement in from the outset. And change projects are exactly the same. It's not good enough to get to the end of any change project, then ask the question, how will we reinforce it? Any reinforcement needs to be integral to the solution, and sometimes that can take quite a while to put in place. So you need to ensure they're planned in from the outset. It probably helps to give you some examples of reinforcements that have worked in the past. And these include updating the processes so they align with the new technology, which removes the option of playing one off against the other. Oh, I can't use that software as it doesn't match the process. Aligning people's role definitions with the change, or in some instances, creating new positions with clearly defined roles and responsibilities. For example, when introducing cross-functional teams that needed a new type of team leadership. Providing training for individuals in the new ways of working rather than hoping that they might pick them up and then being disappointed when that doesn't happen. Aligning individuals' personal objectives with delivering aspects of the change so they get measured and rewarded on how it's been rolled out in their area. Changing the business reporting measures so they align with the outcomes. If you're looking to change the culture so it's more customer-centric, then you need to measure customer satisfaction or repeat business rather than just sales value. There are many different examples, and some will work better than others in different businesses and in different situations. Indeed, some organisations are more change accepting than others. It's important that the approach to change takes into consideration the company's culture now and in the future. Quick wins can also be a great way of reinforcing the change and to show people that the change is happening and will make a difference. It's imperative that quick wins and reinforcement opportunities are exploited as they arise to sustain the change. And as board members, you can prompt the team and the business to ensure this happens in a timely manner and also to support the different activities when they're being put in place. This is a key area to be mindful of. Reinforcement is built into the change plan from the beginning in support of the desired outcomes. And finally, business measures. Transformational change programs are notoriously difficult to measure, and that's not helped if you don't consider the measures until the end of the program. When looking to identify what to measure, you need to think about how you will measure progress through the transformation, and then how you will measure whether the transformation has worked or not. And these measures will need to be a mixture of tangible and intangible measures. So generally, people feel more comfortable with the tangible business measures, for example, accuracy of forecasting, efficiency of targets, milestone adherence, number of customer complaints. And then we get a bit less comfortable when we're in the intangible measures. So levels of engagement, number of people trained, adoption levels for new behaviours, the degree of cultural shift. And I think the reason we can feel less comfortable with the intangible is that they're often more difficult to initially identify and related to behaviours and individual perceptions, which are harder to control and then to measure. But don't let that put you off trying. These transformational measures can be defined and reviewed as an integral part of the project governance. I would recommend that the baselines are established at the start of the project or as near to the start as possible. And suitable measures are actively used to monitor and manage progress, as well as ascertain if the transformation has delivered the outcomes. This is a key area to be mindful of. Identify the measures that you will use to monitor progress and whether the transformation has been successful. I hope after these 4 sessions that you can see how you can support and enable transformational change to happen within the businesses you work in. Sadly, one of the reasons so many transformational change projects fail to deliver the desired end state is because change management is not well understood. So if you are a board member and have a better understanding, then you can support and mentor those involved to ensure that your business makes the transition to the desired state that will lead to future business success, better returns, and a longer term future. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions about any of the areas, please feel free to get in touch.